When it comes to werewolf movies, we've seen a fair share of thrilling transformations, moonlit horrors, and ferocious creatures prowling through the night. Some of these films have left us howling with delight, while others left us wishing for a silver bullet to put them out of their misery. Yet, amidst the countless entries in the genre, there are those rare gems that stand apart, daring to be unique and different. And let's be honest, not every movie has to aim for an Oscar-worthy masterpiece. Sometimes, a film should be appreciated for simply knowing what it is and delivering on its promises. In this video, we'll dive into 16 werewolf films that have left their own distinctive paw prints in the world of horror movies, howling their way into our hearts for various reasons. So, buckle up. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Where, 2013. In this thriller, the French countryside becomes a haunting backdrop for a perplexing series of brutal murders. American tourists Henry and Peter Porter are viciously mauled by a mysterious creature, leaving Claire Porter, the lone survivor, to recount the horrific event to Captain Klaus Pistor. Based on Claire's description, a brutish local named Talon Gwynnick is arrested by Pistor. Following that, a tenacious expatriate attorney named Catherine Samantha Moore takes on the defense of Talon. With the help of investigator Eric Sarin and animal expert Dr. Gavin Fleming, Moore forms an unconventional defense team to unravel the truth. As the mystery deepens, the defense team stumbles upon revelations about Talon's family history, hinting at a rare genetic condition that might absolve him of the crimes. However, their search takes a chilling turn when Gavin sustains a gruesome bite during an encounter with Talon. Amidst the mounting tension, the stakes escalate when Talon, exhibiting uncanny strength, escapes custody, setting off a citywide manhunt. And things go all haywire when the footage of Talon's transformation into a terrifying werewolf surfaces. As the truth unravels, the line between human and beast blurs, leaving audiences on the edge of their seats until the very end. Meanwhile, Gavin's bite wound gets worse, and Pistor hides a dirty secret. This William Brent Bell film takes an intriguing premise and blends it with elements of the supernatural, keeping viewers on their toes throughout the film. However, the excessive use of a handheld shaky cam can be distracting and unnecessary, especially given the movie is damn engaging. The incorporation of porphyria, a real-life disease with links to vampire folklore, adds another fascinating layer to the story. While it may not perfectly align with traditional werewolf symptoms, the movie clearly weaves a fictional narrative around it. The film's pacing starts a bit sluggish, but it gains momentum midway through, offering plenty of surprises to captivate the audience. The ending delivers a satisfying punch, tying the narrative together with some finesse. While Where may have its flaws, it ultimately manages to entertain and thrill, making it a worthy watch for those seeking a fresh take on the werewolf genre. Late Phases, 2014. Late Phases follows Ambrose McKinley, a fiercely independent blind Vietnam War veteran, and his seeing eye dog, a German Shepherd, as they move into a retirement community near a forest. Ambrose's strained relationship with his son, Will, adds emotional depth, making the film much more than a werewolf film. When a series of brutal murders occur during full moons, Ambrose suspects a werewolf is responsible. As Ambrose investigates, he faces skepticism from the community and must navigate through their suspicions while seeking the truth. With the help of his heightened senses, he monitors his neighbors for potential werewolf traits, leading him to suspect certain individuals, including the local pastor, Father Roger Smith, and James Griffin, a friend of the pastor. Determined to defend himself and the community, Ambrose purchases silver bullets and prepares for a showdown with the werewolf. Meanwhile, he must convince the police that his concerns are valid. Despite their doubts, the tension escalates on the day of the next full moon, as Ambrose lays his beloved dog to rest and braces himself for the final confrontation. Unbeknownst to him, someone begins a sinister plan to spread the werewolf curse further. Late Phases puts the spotlight on the talented actor Nick D'Amici, who portrays the blind Vietnam veteran Ambrose McKinley. Director Adrian Garcia Bogliano and screenwriter Eric Stoltz waste no time in setting the stage for the horror to come. The presence of the werewolf is established early on, allowing viewers to witness the terrifying creature firsthand. With the traditional full moon rule in play, Ambrose must patiently wait for the next transformation to face his nemesis. Surprisingly, what could have been downtime in the film transforms into its most engaging element. The audience gets to intimately know Ambrose as he deals with the challenges of his life, all while coping with the nightmare situation he finds himself in. Also called Night of the Wolf, the film is an intriguing departure from typical werewolf flicks, and is a solid choice for horror enthusiasts seeking a character-driven experience with a chilling supernatural twist. Werewolf Woman, 1976. In Werewolf Woman, Daniela Nasseri's traumatic past leaves her emotionally scarred, hindering her ability to form healthy romantic connections. The tragic consequences of her childhood trauma left her filled with an intense, hate-driven fury towards any form of arousal. A chance discovery about her werewolf ancestor triggers a series of chilling nightmares, blurring the line between reality and illusion, so much so that her dreams begin to manifest in her waking life as well. Caught in a disturbing web of violence and intimacy, Daniela commits a heinous act and must face the consequences while struggling with her fluctuating personality. As her actions escalate, she becomes a fugitive, hunted by both detectives and her own family, who believe her to be responsible for a string of murders. Amid the chaos, Daniela finds temporary solace in the care of Luca, a kind-hearted stuntman. Their love seems to tame her dark impulses. But tragedy strikes, pushing her to the vengeful breaking point. Fueled by revenge and her own delusions of being a werewolf, Daniela embarks on a deadly pursuit, leaving a trail of bloodshed in her wake. The movie delves into the harrowing depths of Daniela's fractured psyche, exploring the complex blend of trauma, delusion, and violence. As an exploitation film, director Reno Di Silvestro delivered a surprisingly effective horror sex film in Werewolf Woman. Alec Borrell's portrayal of Daniela, scarred by a traumatic past, conveys a haunting mix of rage and pity. Tina Corraro's emotive performance as Count Nasseri highlights the father's grief for his tormented daughter. Despite its exploitative nature, Werewolf Woman digs into psychological horror, drawing us into Daniela's world. While nudity and gore are prominent, there's an underlying sense of melancholy and missed opportunities that resonate beyond the visceral aspects. Amidst negative reviews, this 1976 movie stood as an underrated gem of 70s horror. Wolf, 1994. In the atmospheric thriller Wolf, Will Randall's life takes a dark turn after being bitten by a black wolf in Vermont. But that's not all. Bad gets worse for him when he gets demoted from his position as editor-in-chief at a publishing house. And to make it further worse, he suspects his protege Stuart of betrayal and an affair with his wife, Charlotte. I mean, this guy was having the worst day ever. No wonder he transforms into a werewolf. Will's transformation into a werewolf is gradual, marked by aggressive behavior and heightened senses. With the help of Raymond's daughter Laura, Will embarks on a new chapter in his life, grappling with his newfound wolf-like instinct. Driven by a primal urge, he experiences his first werewolf transformation, hunting down a deer in the night. To protect himself, Will seeks aid from Dr. Alizaeus, but his struggle intensifies as he grapples with memory lapses and the fear of harming others. Meanwhile, he takes a stand at the publishing house, leading to a confrontation with Stuart. A suspicion mounts surrounding Charlotte's death. Will faces a haunting question. Did he play a role in her demise? The mystery deepens, and the film moves forward with a blend of psychological drama and supernatural intrigue. Jack Nicholson's transformation into a werewolf becomes a potent metaphor for his unleashed carnal id and the cutthroat world of business. The film excels when it stays grounded in reality, using the werewolf element as an atmospheric backdrop. However, the movie falters when it delves into a faux sense of profoundness and unnecessary plot twists. In fact, the story veers away from its strong foundation, leaving some character developments feeling forced and misaligned. Nicholson's performance is, of course, a highlight, portraying Will Randall, a seasoned book editor facing an unexpected corporate upheaval. As he grapples with his newfound wolf-like tendencies, Nicholson brings depth and intrigue to the character. Wolf attempts to explore the consequences of embracing one's primal instincts, but the execution falls short of true emotional depth. Nevertheless, it's a unique take on the werewolf genre, resonating more as a psychological exploration than a traditional creature feature. Ginger Snaps, 2000. Ginger Snaps takes place in Bailey Downs, where a series of dog killings terrorize the community. Sisters Brigitte and Ginger Fitzgerald, fascinated with death, encounter a werewolf during a dog kidnapping mission. Ginger gets bitten, and her life takes a dark turn as she undergoes a series of serious transformations. Her wounds heal quickly, and she becomes aggressive, growing hair and a tail, and experiencing heavy menstruation. Ginger's behavior spirals out of control, and yet she starts dating a classmate named Jason. But her hedonistic desires take a dangerous turn when she bites him during an intimate encounter. Brigitte seeks help from Sam, a local drug dealer, who informs her about Ginger's werewolf condition. They attempt to find a cure using monkshood extract. On the other hand, Trina, the school bully, accuses Ginger of dog napping and ends up accidentally killed. Brigitte defends herself against an infected Jason and witnesses the potential cure's effects. On Halloween, the tension escalates during a party at Sam's place, where Ginger threatens him. Brigitte arrives just in time to administer the monk's foot extract, convincing Ginger of her loyalty. However, as the transformation nears, Brigitte takes drastic measures to save her sister. Ginger Snaps is a ferocious, funny, and gory Canadian horror film that delivers a fresh take on the teenage werewolf trope. Directed by John Fawcett, the film cleverly weaves together the themes of female adolescence and the monstrous, resulting in a rather memorable monster fest. Catherine Isabelle and Emily Perkins give compelling performances as the Fitzgerald sisters. Furthermore, the movie doesn't shy away from the darker aspects of the werewolf transformation, and its astute commentary on female puberty makes it something of a standout in the genre. It fearlessly tackles taboo subjects and links female hormonal changes with the traditional lunar cycle of the werewolf, offering a unique and thought-provoking perspective. While it may not be everyone's cup of tea, horror enthusiasts with strong stomachs will find Ginger Snaps a delightfully wicked and entertaining experience. Ginger Snaps isn't your typical werewolf flick. It is an intelligent and satisfying horror gem that doesn't wimp out in the end. Project metalbeast, 1995. Project metalbeast is a chilling tale of ambition and the consequences of meddling with nature. The story begins in 1974, when a fearless special ops soldier, Donald Butler, faces a formidable man-eating werewolf on an isolated island castle. Armed with silver bullets, he manages to take down the beast and secure a blood sample, aiming to create super soldiers under Colonel Miller's watchful eye. Frustrated by the lack of progress, Butler takes matters into his own hands and injects himself with the werewolf's blood. His senses sharpen, making him more than human. But the price of power is steep. Unable to control his newfound animalistic instincts, he spirals into violence, leaving a trail of devastation. Fast forward 20 years. Scientists work on a breakthrough metal alloy prosthetic skin. Their promising research takes an eerie turn when Colonel Miller offers them a human subject, the cryogenically frozen body of Donald Butler, and they attempt to infuse it with the metal skin. However, as the team nears completion, they discover silver bullets lodged in Butler's heart. Removing them triggers his transformation. Butler awakens, rekindling his past as a werewolf and wreaking havoc on the team. As memories are stirred, Butler's violent nature resurfaces, leading to tragic consequences. Project metalbeast is a typical creature feature from the 80s and early 90s, when movies were heavily influenced by the iconic Alien and other sci-fi horror classics. What sets it apart, though, is the twist of a werewolf turned part cyborg. The film starts with promise, blending lycanthropy with scientific experimentation, reminiscent of classic werewolf movies like The Howling and An American Werewolf in London. Despite its original premise, Project metalbeast falls into familiar territory during the second half, resorting to cliches and predictable plot devices. John Carl Buechler's special effects work, known for B-movies of the era, manages to avoid looking too shabby. However, the film fails to capitalize on the potential of the cyborg werewolf concept. Having said that, despite the missed opportunities and formulaic approach, the film is watchable to say the least. Good Manners, 2017. Good Manners presents a dark tale of unexpected connections and supernatural secrets. Clara, with no prior experience or references, lands a live-in housekeeper and nanny job with Anna, who is estranged from her family due to a complicated past. As their relationship deepens, Clara discovers Anna's peculiar condition, which was seemingly triggered by the full moon. It leads to unexplainable cravings and violent behavior. Despite the unsettling discovery, Clara remains dedicated to her employer, even taking on the responsibility of raising Anna's werewolf pup after a tragic turn of events. 7 years pass, and Clara raises the child, named Joel, as her own, doing her best to protect him during full moons. But as Joel grows older, he becomes curious about his past and embarks on a search to find his father, leading to unforeseen consequences and revelations. As secrets are unveiled and Joel's true nature emerges, the film dives deep into the depths of its characters, exploring the blurred lines between humanity and the supernatural. Juliana Rojas and Marco Dutra's Good Manners is a genre-twisting hybrid that effortlessly switches between dreamlike sequences and unsettling demented moments, resulting in unexpected success. The film's beauty lies in its ability to seamlessly link the world of the art house with the chilling reality of a slaughterhouse. Good Manners introduces a different kind of monster movie, exploring the complexities of human emotions and the weight that love carries. It delves into the characters' anxieties and fears, even as the danger they face unfolds in both real and surreal ways. Rojas and Dutra pull off an ambitious mashup of genres, showcasing their talent in crafting a captivating urban fairy tale that resonates thematically with issues of class, race, sexuality, and motherhood. Werewolves Within, 2021. In the small town of Beaverfield, a heated debate over a proposed pipeline divides the residents. Forest Ranger Finn Wheeler arrives and befriends the mail carrier named Cecily Moore amidst the tense atmosphere. When a blizzard strikes, knocking out the power, the townsfolk seek refuge in Janine Sherman's lodge. The situation escalates when a girl named Trisha's dog is found dead, and the town's generators are sabotaged. With the body of Janine's missing husband discovered, panic ensues as it becomes evident that an unknown assailant is among them. Dr. Jane Ellis, an environmentalist, suggests the assailant is a werewolf, further fueling paranoia. As the residents try to stay safe, violence erupts, leading to distrust and betrayal. With most fleeing the lodge, tensions in Beaverfield intensify, and the remaining few begin turning on each other. Smells a bit like John Carpenter's The Thing. As the truth unravels, Finn realizes that the mastermind behind the chaos is someone no one would have expected, and this person seeks to manipulate the town's fears to achieve their own agenda. Director Josh Rubin skillfully balances horror and comedy to create a delightfully different film. With a clever mix of scares and laughs, Rubin crafted a narrative that keeps audiences entertained throughout. I guess the true strength of the film lies in its cast, whose performances breathe life into the quirky characters. Sam Richardson and Milana Vaintrub stand out as the perfect duo amidst the chaotic and murderous events unfolding around them. Screenwriter Mishna Wolf excels in crafting a range of memorable characters, each with unique attributes and social observations. The film pays homage to the likes of Hot Fuzz with its charming small-town setting and a stacked cast of delightful comic actors. While not every joke lands, the overall experience is an entertaining and refreshing alternative to the darker offerings of the genre. When Animals Dream, 2014. In the remote fishing village of Denmark, 16-year-old Marie, portrayed with subtlety by Sonia Soul, leads a quiet and introverted life with her father, Thor, and her catatonic, wheelchair-bound mother. Unsettling changes begin when Marie develops a mysterious rash on her chest, followed by the sudden sprouting of hair on her body, leaving her increasingly disturbed and confused. Amidst these physical transformations, Marie starts working at a fish processing plant, where her co-workers subject her to bullying disguised as hazing. As her body continues to change, Marie becomes aware that her family is harboring peculiar secrets, and her mother's condition may hold clues to her own unusual experiences. In When Animals Dream, a once demure teen girl sheds societal warnings and embraces her primal instincts with gore, punk rock abandon. Directed by Jonas Alexander Arnby, the film is a play on the werewolf genre with a feminist perspective. While the gore and transformation sequences are present, they are presented in a more restrained manner. However, viewers who approach the movie with an open mind will find a solid entry in the feminist werewolf subgenre, well worth exploring. Furthermore, the film serves as a beguiling parable of cruelty and resistance, focusing on compassion rather than instilling terror in its audience. Arnby opts for minimal special effects, relying on the haunting performance of Sonia Soul, who exhibits Meryl Streep-like intensity in her portrayal of the protagonist. As Marie's transformation intensifies, the film delves deeper into the folklore-inspired narrative. Game of Werewolves, 2011. Game of Werewolves is set in the Galician village of Arga, which is haunted by an age-old curse. In 1910, the Marino family fell into a gypsy woman's wrath, resulting in their descendants turning into werewolves at the age of 10. A century later, struggling novelist Tomas, the last of the Marino lineage, returns to the village after receiving an invitation from the mayor. He hopes to find inspiration in his abandoned childhood home, accompanied by his publisher Mario. As Tomas explores the village, he reconnects with his childhood friend, Callisto, and his uncle, Evaristo, the town's priest and mayor. During a ceremony, Tomas and Mario are unexpectedly abducted by the villagers and thrown into a dark labyrinth. They unwittingly awaken the legendary werewolf, sparking a terrifying chase. Callisto comes to their rescue, pulling them out, leaving the werewolf behind. Taking shelter in Callisto's house, the group learns about the village's plans to break the curse by sacrificing a Marino descendant. A gruesome death occurs, suspicions arise, and the group faces the wrath of the villagers, who believe they can end the curse. As night falls, a second curse takes effect, turning the villagers into werewolves. Callisto, born outside the village, remains unaffected. Tomas's grandmother, Rosa, arrives to rescue the group, leading them to the family mansion. Meanwhile, two policemen investigate the strange occurrences, which leads to a shocking conclusion. Director Juan Martinez Moreno has made one of those films which is amazing in parts, but not so much as a whole. And yet, it is very watchable for a werewolf horror comedy. For instance, Tomas, in a bizarre sequence, has to donate his finger to break a curse, only for his finger to be eaten by a dog, which prompts him to sacrifice another. Amidst the comedic elements, Marino doesn't shy away from the horror genre's staple components. The film boasts a horde of werewolves, outnumbering the few central characters, creating a sense of danger and thrilling encounters. The dark mood is skillfully crafted, with night scenes heightening the suspense, especially in crypts, tunnels, and eerie structures like churches. Wolf Guy, Enraged Lycanthrope, 1975. Akira Inugami is the sole survivor of a village of wolf people brutally massacred by their neighbors. And now, he works as a reporter in Tokyo. One night, he witnesses a man's violent death at the hands of an invisible force. After claiming to have seen a woman transform into a tiger. Investigating the incident, Inugami's friend Arai reveals information about a disbanded band called the Mobs, whose members died under similar circumstances. The trail leads to Miki, the band's former singer, who suffered a tragic fate after being gang-raped by her bandmates on the orders of their manager, Manabe. Unraveling the web of corruption, it is revealed that Miki's transformation into a tiger is fueled by her immense rage, seeking vengeance for the pain inflicted upon her. Inugami finds himself caught between protecting Miki from a vengeful Yakuza boss and a secretive agency planned to exploit their supernatural abilities for political assassination. In a twist of fate, Inugami's invincible blood is transferred to another man, granting him temporary powers. Frustrated with humanity's cruelty, Inugami returns to his wolf village but encounters continued hostility from the neighbors, except for a woman named Taka, who is destined to be his wife. Fueled by a newfound purpose, Inugami decides to confront his former captors and seek justice for his people's massacre. Wolf Guy combines elements of horror, action, and revenge in a gripping narrative. Directed by Kazuhiko Yamaguchi, the film weaves a dark and thrilling tale of supernatural retribution and human cruelty. Sonny Chiba's performance as Akira Inugami amplifies the intensity of his quest for justice. The movie plays with the themes of vengeance and redemption. Driven by Miki's transformation into a vengeful tiger, the movie offers an engaging and intense cinematic experience that caters to fans of the supernatural and revenge genres. Oh, and it is adapted from a manga. Moon of the Wolf, 1972. In the Erie, Louisiana bayou town of Marsh Island, a spine-chilling discovery sets off a mysterious murder investigation. The lifeless body of a local young woman is found mauled, prompting Sheriff Aaron Whitaker to take charge of the case. The victim's brother, Lawrence Burfors, immediately accuses the unknown lover of the crime, adding an air of suspicion to an already perplexing situation. As the sheriff delves into the murder mystery, various theories circulate among the town's residents, including the belief that wild dogs may be responsible for the killing. A posse is formed to track down the creatures, but their efforts yield little success. Burfors remains adamant about the involvement of his sister's mysterious lover, while the sheriff begins to question the brother's motives. The investigation leads the sheriff to the grand plantation home of Andrew Rodanth and his sister Louise, the last surviving members of the once prominent family. The sheriff suspects Andrew's possible affair with the victim, but is met with his claim of being incapacitated by malaria on the night of the murder. As tensions rise, Lawrence's violent behavior lands him in jail, but a horrifying attack during a full moon night shakes the town to its core, leaving the sheriff and its residents fearful and vulnerable. Meanwhile, Andrew Rodanth offers to aid the sheriff as a deputy, leading them to the home of Hugh Burfour, the girl's sick father. There, they stumble upon a voodoo potion meant to repel a creature known as the loup-garou, or werewolf. As pieces of the puzzle fall into place, Louise unravels the truth behind the term, revealing the chilling presence of a werewolf within the town. Moon of the Wolf offers a compact cast of characters, so you can identify the killer much before the movie reveals it. While the procedural elements might not break new ground, they are skillfully handled. The film's strength lies in its well-developed characters and strong performances all around. Sheriff Aaron Whitaker is portrayed as a no-nonsense lawman with a hidden yearning for the past. His unresolved feelings for his high school crush make him rather relatable, while some creature feature enthusiasts might find the werewolf horror a bit lacking. The film focuses more on the investigation and suspense surrounding the murders. The werewolf action is sparingly shown due to budget constraints, but the engaging story almost, if not completely, compensates for it. And despite the limited creature presence, the finale delivers the expected creature fun. The Beast Must Die, 1974. In The Beast Must Die, millionaire Tom Newcliffe invites a group of guests to his rural English mansion, where he reveals that one of them is a werewolf and he must be hunted down and killed. Among the guests are a disgraced diplomat, a pianist and his wife, an artist fresh out of prison, and a lycanthropy enthusiast archaeologist. Tom puts the mansion under constant surveillance with CCTV cameras and motion sensors, all while conducting various tests to identify the werewolf. Despite his efforts, the creature's remains are not found, and the tension rises as the group members become more suspicious of each other. As the full moon approaches, the stakes escalate, and Tom becomes increasingly obsessed with unmasking the werewolf. Tragic events unfold as the creature claims more victims. In a last-ditch effort, Tom subjects the remaining guests to a final test involving silver bullets. Naturally, the identity of the werewolf is revealed, and a deadly confrontation ensues. The film is a stylish and enjoyable British horror that blends werewolf lore with Agatha Christie-style mystery and a touch of blaxploitation. Directed by Paul Annette, the story cleverly incorporates what they call a werewolf break, inviting viewers to take a guess at the monster's true identity. While drawing inspiration from the classic tale of The Most Dangerous Game, it pays homage to its influences. And yet, the film stands on its own as an amusing and entertaining genre offering. The presence of Peter Cushing adds a touch of class to the proceedings, and the suspenseful narrative keeps audiences engaged from start to finish. The Wolf of Snow Hollow 2020. In the small mountain town of Snow Hollow, PJ Palfrey and his girlfriend Brienne experience the worst vacation ever when they encounter two local hunters. But it gets worse for Brienne. Well, her mutilated body is later found with a paw print nearby. Deputy Sheriff John Marshall, battling anger and alcohol issues, is called to the murder scene. Meanwhile, another victim, a snowboarding instructor, meets a similar fate, and a wolf fur is discovered at the scene. As panic spreads, John's personal struggles intensify, leading to conflicts with fellow officers. As more victims fall prey to the unknown killer, the town is on high alert, and John delves into the local records and werewolf lore for clues. The pressure mounts as curfews are imposed, and the search for the creature escalates. Amid grief and frustration, John faces numerous challenges, including being banned from his support group and dealing with a suspect who may be the killer. Furthermore, he must confront his personal demons to bring the mystery to a close. In The Wolf of Snow Hollow, writer-director Jim Cummings balances various tones and styles throughout the film's excellent script. Cummings, known for his talent from Thunder Road, delivers a stand-up performance, effortlessly transitioning from vulnerability to well-timed humor. The movie clearly weaves personal and thorny themes into an oft-told tale, reinvigorating the genre with some good old idiosyncratic comedy. The film successfully explores the complexities of human nature alongside the mythology of monsters. While The Wolf of Snow Hollow doesn't shy away from delivering zingers and atmospheric moments, it does struggle to maintain a consistent tone, which might leave some viewers wanting more cohesion in the third act. Nonetheless, the movie stands out as a quirky and enjoyable horror slasher flick with a distinct black comedy aftertaste. Nightwolf 2010. In the movie, Sarah Tyler returns to her home in England after a stint in Los Angeles. She finds her brothers having a party in the barn, but their gathering takes a horrifying turn when they discover their father's lifeless body, apparently attacked by a wild animal. As they try to cope with the situation, they encounter a beast-like creature and must fight for their lives to survive the night. The group, including Sarah's brothers Stephen, Charlie, and Luke, along with their friends Emily, Gary, and Doug, faces a terrifying ordeal as they are hunted by the same monstrous creature. As the power outage and storm add to their troubles, they attempt to find safety in the attic and gather weapons to defend themselves. Sarah bravely takes on the creature, but the situation becomes dire when she accidentally injures herself with a gunshot. As they struggle to call for help and escape, the local authorities arrive, but are met with the same fate at the hands of the creature. The survivors, Sarah and her youngest brother Luke, manage to make it to the roof, desperately trying to stay out of control of the creature's reach. As the night gets darker, they must confront the beast and try to make it through the night alive. Unfortunately, the film falls short in several aspects, most notably in its characterization. The lack of depth in the characters leaves viewers disconnected from their plight, making it challenging to invest emotionally in the unfolding events. Director Glenn Dunning's approach to storytelling shows some improvement, but the pacing suffers as he stretches the narrative unnecessarily. The movie spends a considerable amount of time confined to the small attic space, missing opportunities to utilize the vast, eerie setting of the mansion. While the film promises moments of entertainment, they are too infrequent and overshadowed by the overall shortcomings. At a runtime of 90 minutes, Nightwolf feels prolonged, with the plot dragging on instead of building up to the final confrontation. But, as an unusual werewolf movie, I had to keep it on the list. The Werewolf of Washington, 1973. The Werewolf of Washington is a satirical horror film that follows Jack Whittier, the press secretary for the White House and the President of the United States. While on assignment in Hungary, Jack is bitten by a wolfman, mistakenly believing it to be the work of communists. Jack returns to Washington, D.C. with a gypsy woman's charm to protect him from the potential consequences of the bite. Back in the capital, Jack is assigned to work closely with the president, and finds himself entangled in an affair with the president's daughter, Marion. As the full moon approaches, Jack experiences strange changes and begins to suspect he has become a werewolf. Mysterious murders linked to the president's staff start occurring, further fueling Jack's belief in his condition. In an attempt to prove his theory, Jack presents a pattern of the murders forming a pentagram. He convinces his superior, Commander Salmon, to lock him up during the next full moon and document the events. However, during a critical interview with the Chinese Prime Minister, Jack succumbs to his transformation and attacks the president. Seeking to protect others from his savage alter ego, Jack rushes to Marion, and that ends in a tragic death. The premise was interesting, you know, getting a werewolf in the White House, but apart from that, the film had fairly little to offer. So yeah, there have been many good werewolf movies, and there have been bad ones. But there are only a few that have been unique and different. And I guess not every movie has to be made to win an Oscar for Best Picture, right? Sometimes a movie should be appreciated for knowing what it is. And that's what these 15 films were. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.